Good morning. Today we are going to talk about two important art movements of the 20th century, Cubism and Surrealism. I want our focus to be on how they are constructed, rather than any sort of historical stuff. So we'll start off by talking about how the Cubists thought of their art. Let's open up the discussion. Who will go first? Yes, Taein.
Well, I seem to remember reading about how Cubism began. It was Picasso and George Sprague. They thought of art in terms of little cubes.
Well put, Taein. Let me expand on that. What Cubist art tries to do is to take apart a scene or a subject and tries to put it back together using geometric shapes, like cubes, hence the name Cubism. Is that clear?
Well, the thing I wonder is, everything is made of shapes anyway, right? So how is Cubism really different?
Good question. Putting the shapes back together really isn't all of it. The most important part of it is that the shapes have to be reassembled in an abstract way. So maybe a cube goes at the end of an arm where a hand usually would be. Therefore, it's more abstract. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, and actually, can I say something about surrealism? If we're done with Cubism.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so from what I recall, surrealism had the same idea of distorting reality, right? But the surrealist did it in a different way. I remember someone saying that the best way to describe surrealism was to think of it as putting real things in a dream world.
You know what? I like that idea. I'd say surrealism is very much like that, but in artistic terms, they took actual things and merged them in strange ways, rather than reassemble them in different shapes. So, like in Dali's works, you might see clocks on a table out in the desert, melting clocks, and a tree growing out of the table. You wouldn't usually see those things in real life, right? At least not together. So, it's almost like being in a dream world. Even just looking at the painting.
Alright, now I'm able to clearly distinguish the difference between Cubism and Surrealism. Thank you for today's lecture, Professor Rowe.
Good job today, Taein and other students. Tomorrow we are going to talk about pop art movement, so be ready to open up a discussion.